Hey Robin, hey everyone. Okay, so let's start the live stream. So the trade is getting really close. Now, if you can see, okay, so just let me know if you can hear me and if you can hear me good and you can see my screen, okay. Again, this is my second live stream. Oh, right. Hey GM, Kieran. So I basically want to trade this NQ move, right? Uh, I'm waiting for the session. If I see it very clear before the session, I will enter before. Great, Kieran. So, okay, great everyone. Happy you all joined. So let's do it quick because we are starting the session in 15 minutes. Okay, let's mark it. So this is the session start, right? 9:30 in New York. Now, what do we see over here? Yes, we don't really care about Trump because the chart moves in liquidity in the end. If we are not trading the 1 minute, it doesn't really matter, right? So what do we have over here? So let's start with the daily, right? We are doing from the upside to the downside. Same, Kiran. So in the upside, right, we have this range, right? We have this bullish market structure, right? Now we have this market structure and we have this range, right? So this is the high, right? Let's do it like this. Now we have this range. As you see, price is avoiding going below the discount. Now, so how price closes above the discount and above retail PYs, right? As you see, it just wicks this. So how price closes over here tells us that we are going to have model 1, right? Model 1 is just continuation to the upside. So the daily says to us that we need to go towards the upside because retail aren't entering any longs, right? So let's say retail want to enter longs over here. So if we want to go down, price needs to go to this area and then it will drop down. Now we had enough of accumulation at this point in order to go up, right? Model 1. So if you didn't watch the YouTube explanation, model 1 needs an accumulation in premium area. Now, the daily bias says, yes, we are trading with the market makers. So the daily says that retail aren't in yet and we need to go up. Based on the daily, we need to expand towards a new all-time high, right? So currently the daily target is all-time high, like alerted on Telegram. Okay, let's go to the 4-hour. It's a bit clearer on the 4-hour. So yesterday we have been over here. Now, hey Tran, I'm just only trading NQ on these live streams, so no, I can't analyze Bitcoin. Okay, so yesterday we have bounced from this area, but we didn't have our confirmation, right? So based on the confirmation rules, firstly we want price to take some sort of sell side, right, like this, or these sell side areas. Now, in this case, we took this sell side, right, and we took this sell side. We've taken enough sell sides to go towards the upside. Now we have activated retail sellers, right? Where are retail sellers entering? You can clearly see this resistance area, right? So it accidentally. Now you can clearly see this resistance area, right? I want to close some. Okay, just a second. Okay, I'll close some tabs. So we have this resistance, right? So retail are seeing these tabs, right? They want to sell. Now, our rule says that we have liquidity at the first swing high above the resistance. So it will be this one, right? This will be the first swing high. We also have liquidity over here based on market structure, right? We have this bearish market structure. Now retail are selling over here, putting the stop losses at this high. Now this is buy side based on market structure, right? Retail are selling this market structure, placing the stop losses over here, and we also have buy side at this high based on this resistance. I didn't explain the best, so if you have any questions, just ask them, right? Hey Gary. So what are we seeing at the moment? We are really close to this session open. Now this would be our first buy side target, right? I expect price to go towards this first buy side. Now what do we see over here? Hey Dimitri. Now we can see that price is accumulating, right? We see model 1 on NQ also, right? We can see that price is accumulating at this point, right? Let's mark it as a premium discount. We can see price is accumulating in premium, right? Avoiding this low, right? So I expect price to go towards the upside from this point towards the high, right? And the second view that I have is going below this point, doing something like this, wiggling, taking the low, and maybe recovering from this area. But my view would be going up from here, or just wicking this point, right? Doing a quick wick to this point and immediately going up. Personally, I want to see price go up from here. Because we are accumulating premium, L model 1, right? And we also have this, let's draw it in red because we have many resistances, and we have this resistance, right? Let's check if grid acts for this resistance, right? You can see it's above the 0.5, so retail are looking for sales. Now looks like I will enter my position before the session start. Now I see we have liquidity over here at these highs, right? We have liquidity at these highs based on this, right? So retail are shorting over here and placing the stop losses at this high, right? So they are still in their short positions. Now the dilemma over here would be waiting for price to wick this point and then go up, right? Or to long over here and go up like this. So here comes the probability game, right? Trying to think whether I want to long over here or wait for this scenario. So Kieran, you want to see price just go towards the buy side immediately without going to these lows, right? Let's check this fib. Again, I'm not really explaining too much because firstly I want to look at this point. Again, also for relying about this close, I need to wait for the market open. I don't really like trading before the open, so let's wait. Okay, so did a quick check. So we have buy side at these highs. We have an AL model 1 accumulation over here. Because of this accumulation, we don't really need to enter this area, right? I know it's an RFG, but I don't really care, right? I care more about, I want to see price go up, but a lot of times during the open, price just loves wicking these points and then goes up, right? So I'm scared of this one. Try to think whether I want to take a shot, right, on a lock position over here, considering there is a risk of getting stopped on this one, or waiting for the perfect scenario. Okay, so I think I will take both of them. Okay, just at the moment, to be honest, I have, so let's show you the two possible positions. Okay, first possible position would be like this, right? 2 hours. This would be first possible position before the open, and the second position would be waiting for this week, right? Waiting for price to weak this point, waiting for a proper close, right? Not just entering on the knife catching, just waiting for the close, right? If price will close like in a good way, then I will enter the long. So again, we have liquidity the highs because of this resistance, and because on the daily we are magneted to these highs. So the open comes over here. Yes, you are right, Karen. So right, we are entering before the open is getting risk of a week. Yes. Right. Yes, currently I would wait because the 15-minute doesn't show any confirmation and we are really bleeding, so I will wait. Trian, yes, I think Bitcoin will go to the all-time high. Currently I'm focusing on NQ, so I will talk about Bitcoin later on. So I wait for the open at the moment, and maybe I will enter later. Okay. Let's go to the 5 minutes. Okay, let's wait. So again, the options are longing before if I stop here, right? Or waiting for the week, or just maybe the open won't do the big move it's doing, right? So it's more about the reaction side, right? We have our targets, we know why price will go towards the high, we understand why, but personally I'm scared of these lows, right? I'm not really scared of these lows, but I'm more scared about the market open volatility. Just lows weakening these points and go up, right? It's more of how you approach trading. If you like taking more losses, right? If you will like being more aggressive or more patient, right? Like if I'm not trading before the open, I'm risking a option where I miss this trade. So the open is in 2 minutes. We don't have a proper confirmation on the 5 minutes, so yes, I'm waiting for the open. Let's go to the 1 hour, just recheck. Yes, the 1 hour looks good, right? This candle can just flip to a wick, right? Okay, so 17 seconds into the open. Okay, so we've opened. So I can remove this one. So we've opened now. So move the arrow. Okay, so let's see if we dig towards this FVG. So yes, we are also approaching this support. Right, so this extra scares me now. Right, don't like longing over here. Right, I do want it to sweep the lows. Doesn't have to, but it will be great, right? Okay. Okay, so we keep dipping. Price can just go up from here, right? But it doesn't show us what we want to see. So let's use the liquidity system. I touch you, right? So let's explain it in the liquidity system. So currently we have this support. We can call this low as our first sell side, and we have this resistance. Now this would be our first buy side, and I will just call this one, right? So this is the first sell side, this is the first buy side, right? Now we want to see one of these lows or high getting cleared out, right? You want to see something like this, you want to see price base itself, right? Like over here, something like this. So I want to see price base itself below the low, Now we want to understand where our confirmation comes, right? We know where the sell side is getting taken, but we also want to grab some sort of confirmation, right? Want to understand where retailers are entering against us, and we will look for APY, right? And if this would be our new fib, right, we want to take a fib just like this and look for PYs above the 0.5, like this PY, these areas of PY, right? You see a lot of taps. Now this can be a great PY to see something like this, to see a trigger, right? D3, right? And then we can see 4 go up. This is what I want to see. Right. Let's make it gray. Let's patiently wait. Okay, so we are starting to dip. Again, this low, yes, this will be the FG. Let's check the 1 hour again, just for the safety that we are not trading anything bad. Now we are entering this FEG. We're also taking a lot of sell side levels. Trying to think whether this low is enough of a sell side. Now we've triggered these highs, right? This resistance triggers these highs. Now we've taken a major sell side right here, right? So if we go towards this area, right? If we're seeing a return to this area from here, so maybe it would be a good call to long, right? Again, we are reacting, not guessing. This would be step 3.
Alright, so this is a little bit of
So let's patiently wait. Okay, so price is slightly going up. Let's open the broker. it'd be better for price to go down, right? Not return like this. Just gives it low quality vibes, right? But it really doesn't matter, right? Yes, looks like it's going up from here, so a return to this point, right, on the 15-minute, right, a close over here on the 15-minute will actually give me the trigger, right? So if you have any questions, right, ask them. Just even questions regarding advanced liquidity. Right, while we wait, it doesn't matter, right? I can't really stretch the 0.5 area, right, like this, because we don't have a proper displacement, right? A proper displacement would be going below, and then I'd be able to drag our Fibonacci, right? So let's hope it will do this. Right, now we have arrived to the sell side. Right, now it's really matters, right? In this case, right, once dipping towards this low, I really want to see how the 1 hourly close, right? Yes, so I will wait for the 1 hourly close, right? And with the 1 hourly close, I can actually understand how this fib, right? You remember I told you this is AL model 1. Now we can understand how this fib works, right? So we had two options, right, before the open, either longing with a risk of getting stopped out like this, or waiting for this exact scenario of the wick, right, wicking this zone. Now if price closes at the premium area, in this case, now we'd be able to enter a position. So we have some waiting over here to do, about 15 minutes. So in the meanwhile, you can ask your questions. Let's analyze some other pairs. Where we are creating this one, you mean? Which scenario you mean? This one? Let's remove some of this. Right, we don't need this. Which scenario you mean? I didn't really understood. Right. So we have this scenario. Okay, so we are closing below it, right? You can see. Once closing below it becomes resistance. Anyways, yes, we are closing below it. It will be nice to close below it. I hope so. But it doesn't really matter because this SNR is far from the low, right? Yes, we have an FEG over here. Right? This FEG doesn't give me the bias, but it's nice to go to it. Dimitri, we don't have a stop loss yet, right? Once, if we close like this over here, right, in premium, then I will be able to place my stop loss somewhere in this region, right, below the low at this point. But currently we are not in a position, in any position, right? Let's refine it. So this is, so you could say 4 hour, and you could also say, right. No, I don't have any minimum. Just above 1-on-1, right? Any trade below 1-on-1 just doesn't give me the risk ratio I need, because my win rate isn't that high, right? So I need an higher win rate. Sorry, higher RR. So let's check some other pairs, right, in the meanwhile. So again, what I'm expecting, I expect an aggressive reaction from here, okay? So I expect an aggressive reaction. We've also closed below this support area. Now I expect an aggressive reaction from this point. And I'm not longing this over here because we don't have a confirmation, right? So when you see such a move, okay, so explain like this, you see such an impulsive move, right? You need to understand where retailers are selling. They are not selling over here because they don't have a safe stop loss to put, right? So this doesn't look safe, right? So the safe stop loss, right, safe swing high, you can call it, would be this high, right? Now, in order for retail to place a stop loss at this high, they need to wait for a proper retracement to at least these points, right? Only when price goes to these points, they are willing to place their stop loss at the highs, right? So this is the liquidity thinking. So if we are wrong with our bias and price needs to meet these lows, then price can just continue down, melting, right? So this doesn't give me the confirmation, right, I'm looking for. If you saw the last slide, you see I'm really looking for logic with my entries, right? I'm not just entering on impulsive moves or anything like this, right? I'm always looking for my logic to happen before triggering a position. If I don't see my logic happen, I'm just not trading. Really simple, right? If I will just long this one by its impulsiveness, right, and if we go down, I will regret my stop loss, right, and then I will call it a bad day, right? So I better wait for a good position. So this, I'm marking it gray because retail are not selling it. Now we are seeing some strongness. Again, I will talk about it again. So I want to see the 1 hourly close above the 0.5 range, right? I want to see it close over here. So our hourly close come in 10 minutes. Seeing it now. So I close. Let's check use. As you see, as I told you, not longing these impulsive bottoms because this can happen, right? I'm always waiting for my confirmation. So my confirmation tells me two things. First, that the low of my stop loss is safe, and secondly, most of the time, if I'm wrong in my bias somehow, right? Most of the time I'm right with the bias, but if I'm wrong with my bias, then price just won't visit this place, right? You understand? Because it wants to go down. So if I would be impulsive, move over here, right? I would just get stopped out on this low. Okay. We are continuing down. I'm trying to think if my observation of the 1 hour is right? I'm starting to think that the observation of the close isn't right. Why do you normally trade NQ referring to indices? Because why just NQ and not ES? Because I don't have a specific preferring for NQ, but I just like more the NQ price action at the moment, right? We have a clear high to go towards, and ES doesn't have this clear high, right? So seeing ES right now, so I see we've taken the high, but we are still in this, right? We are still in this resistance, so we still need to go up towards this high, right? So I don't really care, right? You can say SMT, but I don't really care about this one, right? I still think we need to go towards the upside. Let's check. Yes, I still think we need to go towards the upside. So I want to change it, okay, a bit. I don't really care about the 1 hourly close because we are in the higher time frame rejecting from this resistance, right? We are rejecting from this resistance, so the lower we go, we don't care. I don't care how low we go because we are being attracted to this high. It will be a bonus, but I don't it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't invalidate my trade. So we are really falling on AGY. I thought it would go up from here, but we are going towards the sell side. Let's mark it. So we are continuing the melting down. Continue melting. Okay, so going down. I hope we see the close, but looks like we won't see this close. Let's look at ES. So on ES we also have this perfect resistance area. Hard to see it just bypass these highs, right? I don't see a scenario where it doesn't go to these highs. But again, our system, right, tells us if we go up or not. We don't trade what we want, right? We trade what we see and react. No questions, right? Nothing to speak about, right? So RGP, I took this one. I'm expecting it to go towards the upside from here. Expecting something like this. Let's put put an alert over here. Let's see if it's... So let's return to NQ. Keeping the melt. Alright, now we've closed over here. Again, I've changed a bit my thinking. Right, so let's check ES. So ES actually shows a completely different picture, right, than NQ based on just liquidity. So we've taken this high and we are closing at like this. So I really don't like this on ES. So looks like we were a bit wrong with our bias, and it's okay, right? That's okay, we were wrong over here, right, with our bias. Didn't execute anything. Let's check ES. So yes, I don't like this close on ES. Kinda changing my mindset. I also don't like this melt. I thought it would just go up from here. Didn't offer us anything. J30, let's check in the meanwhile. Okay, let's see. I can't really analyze this, right? We can't understand anything. Just choppiness, right? I expect price to go towards this low. Right? This is what I tell you. In order to long, right? If you want to long, I want to see something like this, take the low, and then I will be able to go towards the upside. Now let's return to NQ, just bleeding and bleeding. So again, so now when we are seeing such a close, I'm not feeling safe with this low anymore, right? The buyers who are buying over here are placing their stop losses over here. So it's really doesn't give me any safety. Now what we can see over here, okay, so we can see price tag this low on NQ, and on the other end on ES, right, we can see something like this. Only if this will happen, I will actually consider this trade, right? We can see price take this low on ES, right, create this SMT, right? Why I want to see this SMT? Because on ES you can see something like this. We have created a new market structure, okay? Now we have this new market structure. Now we are triggering retail buyers who are placing the stop loss over here, so we need to take this low. On the other hand, on NQ, we don't need to take this low because we didn't change the structure, right? If we go towards this point, now we need to take this low, right? But it didn't take a new high, so we don't have a bullish market structure, so we don't need to take this low. So only if ES and NQ will print something like this that looks like it won't really do it, but only if it will do it, then I will enter a long, right? So if we see a quick tag of this low while NQ is keeping this low, right, then I will be interested. We can actually do it like this, right? So let's do it for the sake. Okay. So I want to see NQ take this low while ES doesn't look like it, right? That looks like they're really correlated, so it won't happen. But let's patiently wait, right? We are not in a hurry. So if you didn't understand, let's just write it. If it will actually can happen, something like this. Right. So this low needs to have rated stop losses. On the other hand, sorry, this high. On the other hand, over here we've taken the high with the stop losses. Now we need to go towards this low in ES. On the other hand, on NQ we don't need to go towards this low, and we can keep it as safe, right? So this is why we can call it S&T, right? Now on here we can say something like this and continue up. On the other hand, on NQ we can continue up from here. So let's see. So I see the live gets a bit boring, so people are starting to leave, but it's okay, that's how it works. For crypto, it could be Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? But I don't use the correlation with Ethereum, Bitcoin, only NQ and ES. There's only NQ and ES and Dixie and EU, right? USD. Actually, on the daily they actually looks the same, right? So let's check. No, they are both looking the same, right? They both are in AL model 1, right? We have AL model 1 over here, right? Upside, and also ES is accumulating in premium, right? Both needs to go to the upside. I just want one to print a lower low, ES, and the one not to print it, right? If it will happen, it will be great, right? If not, that's how it works, right? No need. I don't know what is the XP. I really don't know, right? It's just a YouTube thing. Nothing gives you nothing. Just shows you're probably reacting a lot in all of this. So looks like NQ is actually weaker, so I don't think it will be this correlation, and price kinda stuck. Okay, so let's return to one chart. So gold is in choppy range, right? Nothing stops it from sweeping the low before going up, right? So I'm not longing it basically because of all of these lows. NQ, yes, is much stronger. I don't think it will do what I want it to do. But I definitely won't long it like with these equal lows, right? This doesn't work like it. Yes. Alright, we want to take this low. We don't want to just so I don't like how it printed like over here, right? I don't like it. ES is kind of ruining my long plans on the indices because how it gave retail a chance to enter a buy. Okay. Let's check ES. Looks like today's bias wasn't right. I know that Trump is going to do an announcement in 45 minutes, so maybe just a preparation for this announcement, right? Price tanks, right? Makes people bearish, then just goes up right, during its announcement. This is the Trump, right? This is how it works for now, using traps. Okay, so so the retailers who are selling over here, right? They are selling over here 100% now. Whether the question is whether we want to go up from here, right? So we don't have the confirmation to do it so because this law isn't safe for us at the moment because the retailers who bought over here are placing their stop loss based on the market structure. So this is unsafe for a long position, right? Nothing says to me, okay, so price can't just sweep your low and go up, right? Nothing says, okay, this low is safe. On the other hand, on NQ, we can call this low safe because we need to take this high. But at the moment, the miscorrelation and the way that price didn't give us any confirmation just probably tells us that we won't go towards this high. And we probably need to accumulate something different on the higher time frame. So let's wait. So for A UDGPY, let's see the liquidity system. So here would be step 3, right? So if price will return to something like this, then it will be a great entry towards the highs, something like this. So let's enter our trigger over here and wait for it. So I have many triggers and I only have the essential, but we have triggers over here. Can you show where is activated on NQ? Yes. So we basically have this resistance, right? And we also have this resistance. So we are clearly rejecting from retail PYs, right? We have this resistance and we also have this one, right? So we are clearly rejecting from retail PYs. Now, this means that the retailers who are selling over here are placing their stop loss over here. The retailers who are selling over here are placing their stop losses over here. Now, in order to activate these highs again, in order to confirm our long position, we'd want to see a return to these points, right? A return to this point, we say, oh, now retail start selling, right? But I won't take it for now because first I don't like these equal lows. Secondly, I don't like how ES have already taken the high, right? What do you mean in L model 1? This here is L model 1, right? That actually failed, okay? So this is a failed L model 1. So looks like this would be the second live, right? Without a trade. Yes, the trade might come if we see the correlation I've talked about. Looks like we won't see it. So it's been a past an hour, right? And I don't see anything, right? We didn't get our confirmation for the long on this L model 1, right? Looks like we want to dig deeper towards the lows because of some higher time frame manipulation or something like this. So I will close it over here, right? If I see something really interesting, I will share it on Telegram. Okay, now I hope you've enjoyed, and peace.